Hey guys, it's me, Teresa APRN. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about Blue Apron, ticker APRN, because it's trending this weekend. It has a potential catalyst coming up. And the question is, will it rocket or is this going to be a pump and dump? Guys, I'm honestly not sure. I would err on the side of caution here. However, it has come down significantly and there's absolutely a good chance it could start moving to the upside. And based on the candle that we saw on the daily print on Friday, I think that could happen this week, so I think it's worth discussing. Please remember, nothing I say is financial advice. Always do your own DD, and if you could, smash that like button for me. I'd greatly appreciate it as it helps with the algorithms. All right, so the reason I decided to bring this to everybody's attention is because if you look at the daily chart here, this last green candle is what's known as a doji. For those of you that do not know, this generally indicates a reversal. So this should be a reversal in trend. We do have several gap fills to go on the way up for Blue Apron. So I definitely think it's something that could easily double, if not higher, if the right catalysts come into play here. Guys, this has been beat down very hard over the last several months, pretty much like every other stock. The volume was dead on Friday. The average volume over the past 3 months has been 7.18 million. Friday, we only saw 2.4 million shares trade, and the price was up slightly in the after hours. This weekend, it has been trending on StockTwits, and a lot of people are talking about potential catalysts, which we'll get into in just a moment. The free float on this is very small. It's only 12.86 million shares, and there's a lot of insider ownership, guys. The 52-week low is $1.08, and 52-week high is $12.76. This is currently given a buy rating by the 3 analysts that have ranked it. Well, actually 2 of them give it a buy and 1 give it a hold for a buy consensus overall, with a low price target of $4, a high price target of $7, and an average of $5.33, which would essentially be like almost 5 times what it's trading at right now if it hit that average, right? So definitely something that could potentially cause great money gains in the future. And we have seen this have several small squeezes in the past. So there's definitely an opportunity here should this strike again. Now, this is what is all over, and there's different versions of this going around. I don't know if it's some group pumping it. That would be my guess. But there's all these different pictures of it. I just chose one saying 8K pipe catalyst apron by November 30th. Just telling you the float. They're giving you the full float, that 14 million, and a short interest of 43%. So this 8K pipe catalyst, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but I think it has to do with what I'm going to talk about here. So this Tafler says, Blue Apron has been restructuring executives. Mitch Cohen came aboard as interim CFO, guy who oversaw the Redbox acquisition. Joe Sandberg owns more shares, and this is why I take a personal interest in this. This is Joe Sandberg. He owns more shares and has an agreement with Blue Apron to invest $56.5 million into Blue Apron. That's the pipe by November 30th. Now, this Joe Sandberg also tweeted out, if you go back in my Blue Apron videos, because I've done videos on this in the past when I saw it starting to run. And one of them, I did talk about Joe Sandberg and a tweet that he had put out saying, should I buy Blue Apron and take it private? So that's been a question that's been happening for quite some time now. And it's been in the back of my mind, guys. And there's also people discussing potential other people interested in taking Apron private or purchasing it. So getting back to Joe Sandberg, he owns the most shares and has an agreement with Blue Apron to invest $56.5 million into Blue Apron, that's the pipe, by November 30th. If the pipe falls through, he has to give up private securities as collateral worth more. In the pipe agreement, $25 million has to be used to increase shareholder securities as collateral worth more. And guys, I think that I discussed this previously in another Blue Apron video as well. So go back in my page on YouTube and see if you can find my apron videos to learn more about this. In the PIPE agreement, $25 million has to be used to increase shareholder value, aka buyback, which is interesting, guys. And I was quite surprised when they did an offering earlier. I think it was in October, because this had been announced and it didn't make sense to me why they would do that with this in the works. So it's still a big question in my mind, which is why I'm wondering, are they pumping it to dump it? I don't know. Is there a potential buyout? Maybe they had to do it to secure some kind of fundings, but generally the buyout, they need to eliminate debt. So I'm very confused here. Blue Apron also just partnered with Amazon and has had partnerships with Walmart. Rumor they are restructuring for a buyout. Now this is a very real possibility and one I've thought of as well. There are many catalysts, but that is the rundown. We also have one of the highest short interest, 70%, according to the S3. Okay, I don't know where he's getting that 70% from, because according to Fintel, which I'm going to show you in a minute, it's far less. But again, guys, please take everything you see on Fintel with a grain of salt. My trust in Fintel and Ortex has gone significantly down. I use it as a tool only because I just find that certain things don't add up. And again, I'm not saying it's these platforms' fault, but the information they get is only as good as what's reported to them. And unfortunately for retail, shorts don't have to disclose as much information about their shorting as longs do about their ownership, which is a problem. All right, so the short interest he's saying, according to the S3, is 70%. Again, I'm not sure that that's accurate, but I'm not also sure about Fintel. So maybe it's between 40 and 70%. Let's say that to be safe. So another catalyst is a short squeeze. Hope that helps. Yes, Taffler, thank you so much. I do find that information helpful, and I agree with much of what you said. All right, so shout out to him. Anyways, let's look at Fintel. The short interest, according to Fintel, is 43.22% with 2.09 days to cover. The amount of shares they have left to borrow to short is 650,000, with a cost to borrow of 22 to 24%. And look at the short volume ratio. Friday, the volume was very, very low, as you heard me say in the beginning of this video, yet they still shorted 60.84% of dark pool trades. Guys, why? I mean, why would they need to do that when the volume was like a third of what it normally is? Does that make sense to you? Doesn't to me, but it is what it is. And that's the highest it's been in the past 2 weeks of short volume. It's been averaging between 24.65 and, as you can see, that's 60.84 in the last 2 days specifically. Does somebody know something that retail doesn't? Makes me wonder, because why are they shorting it so heavy? Anyways, let's look at the failure to delivers. In this red box is what we have for the week. Tomorrow we have due 5,220. It's very possible that they have to come up with 4,791 of those. That would be the max I can see, just based on this week and what the lowest has been. Now, interestingly enough, take this box aside. Like I said, the most I think all week they're going to need to come up with, well, quite possibly that 21,000 on Friday, because look at it gets much higher, and the lowest it gets down to is Halloween, 64,519. What does it do afterwards? Well, guys, I really am curious what it does afterwards, because this price has gone down to $1. A few months ago, this was trading at $6, $7 per share. It can run because it has a very small float. So if volume comes in, it will take off. Just don't be caught being left at the top and being a bag holder, because unfortunately, that's what happens in a lot of these names many times. So please trade with, a plan and stick to it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you saw, please do smash that like button and consider subscribing. I do put out a daily morning watch list that is free. And if you're subscribed, you get a notification when I publish that every morning. I try to get it out by 8:30, but sometimes due to the amount of time it can take to upload on YouTube, it doesn't get out till between 8:30 and 9. But I do my best every morning. I start looking before 7 a.m. and start recording by 8 to get it out to you. I just need time to see what's actually moving. So anyways, guys, thank you so much and have a fabulous rest of your Sunday.